Greetings, ladies and germs of planet Earth and beyond. King Zero Phoenix here, and welcome back to ARK Survival Evolved. It hasn't been that long since I last uploaded a video of this game, but I've been into it a lot more lately, and it happens to be one of my favorites, so what do you want? I'm not even sure where exactly I left off in the last one, but as you can see, I've had a lot of home improvements. I upgraded I once wooden structures all the way up to stone, and as you can tell by the site over there, I've amassed quite the collection of creatures to my new family. Yep, just as I thought. And if you're wondering what the deal with those eggs, I used to have a mod Boosted Flyers 2.0. Problem is, the Quetzal was so rare, I couldn't find it, so sadly I had to get rid of it. And now, as a result, my Flyers, my Pteranodons, and my Tapejaras are gone. Petrie, Petra, Trixie, and Timmy. But this... yeah, those are my dragons. As for why my wyvern isn't among them, well, let's just say I got stupid and I had to swim to the far north, and my viper-toothed wyvern ended up getting eaten by a bunch of megalodons. Truly, those suckers are vicious. But if you'll notice, check these out. These are my tech stegos. I believe they were part of an event called the Extinction Chronicles. That these stegos are completely made of tech. So now I have two regular stegos as well as these two. Highly mechanized. And as you can see, I've been actually reinforcing the area around here with an eco tree, even though it placed redwood trees. Thank you, Kinana. Check that out. Finally got to give my dragon a helmet. Tell me that ain't intimidating. And I basically got everything else someone could need. Here's my greenhouse with its 2 plant species X traps, for good measure. And just so you know, I also, in an attempt to try and get more of them and to spawn, I tried messing with the spawn on levels of the game, so now more and more creatures are going to start popping up. Thank you. What was that? Ugh, stupid ants. Clearly, as you can see, nothing can stand between me and Cobra, my viper tooth. But now that I have the Boosted Flyers mod removed, I am definitely gonna have to start hunting for some new ones. Let's see, yeah, why not? Let's see. Well, aside from progress, I haven't done much else except trying to upgrade my home. Trying to get my defense perimeter completed. Ooh! What have we here? A human. Yep, I also added the human NPCs mod. Easy, Cobra. One thing about these humans, and especially the archers, they shoot fire arrows. Oh, so much for that. And before you ask, yes, these humans aren't like the regular ones, so it means I was trying to tame them. But in all honesty, you know, I'm not even gonna bother. But one good thing from these guys is that they do draw clothing you can't find here on the island, like desert clothing. Alright, but enough horsing around. I've got new dinos to find, and hopefully something else I can find too. I've been trying to see if I can get the spawn rates up for the wyverns. There's a viper tooth wyvern up so I can find a new one. Problem is, I've had no such luck. It's a shame that's such a rare spawn, though. Having an army of them would be a blast path. But on the plus side, during my travels, I was able to get some egg, a fireball wyvern, or an egg, as well as a fireball dragon egg. Those can only be found on the dead island in the far north. Thankfully, I was able to snatch them up without getting eaten alive. And here we are, the Red Peak, the only place where the viper tooth lives. But sadly, I have come back here time and time again, and sadly, they have never appeared since. I was lucky enough to get at a mating pair for the dragons, but it seems that wyvern is the only one. Which means, unfortunately, I'm gonna be forced to have to spawn it in, and I really don't want to do that. I'd rather, when it comes to chaining these creatures, I'd rather do it the proper way. But oh well. What can you do? One good thing though, as long as I'm riding my dragons, no other creature, not even the Rex, will come close to me. Oh, that's a bonus. Excuse me. And there's just one other thing I need to check. Okay, that was a dead Dimorphodon floating in midair. Bizarre. Anyhow, in my attempts to try and get the Quetzal to spawn more, I've basically been messing with the spawn rates. In the end, I knew the spawn rates are meant for the default version of all the creatures, so as long as that mod was in, as far as I knew, as long as that mod was in the way, there's no way a new Quetzal was gonna come. Chances are they won't anyways, and since my luck is basically crap, but no harm in trying. I'll briefly circle the island, hopefully tame some new flyers along the way, and see what happens from there. I'm not even sure why I'm using the dino tracker. I mean, Quetzals are not that hard to spot. They're giant flying reptiles. It's not as easy to spot as a dragon would be, but you get the idea. The Quetzal is, in my opinion, is by far one of the most necessary tames in the entire game. I mean, these creatures Quetzals can carry the largest of creatures. Well, not the actual largest, but among the creatures too large for any Pteranodon or Tapejara to pick up. I was fortunate to find one in an earlier run, but unfortunately I couldn't chance to tame it because a bunch of dire wolves decided to crash the party. Such an annoyance. You know, to this day, I have played this for so long now, and I still have never once actually tried to go to the obelisks. Honestly, to me, that's because even though most people's priority is conquering this game, trying to find a way out, I'm actually trying to make sure I have established a proper foothold in a world like this. I mean, what's the point of like, say I decided I managed to get everything needed to activate the obelisk. I go in, I end up dying. Hey, what do I have to show for it afterwards if I end up dying? My creatures will die, I'll be out of stuff, and then I just go back to having a crappy home. That ain't gonna fly with me. So once I've completed my base, got everything in order, like a pen for the livestock, proper holding areas for the carnivores, and heck, I was actually thinking of putting a special prison in the carnivores' pen into an actual prison, keeping them just above, and if they misbehave, drop them in and let the carnivores chow down. Too cruel! Yep, there's Dead Island, the spot where I managed to steal the eggs. It was right around here, this area of the north, where I found that Quetzal. Even though I messed with the spawn race to try and get them to spawn more frequently, clearly that is not going to happen. By the way, just to any of those watching who actually do play this game, I'm going to be opening my world more frequently now, like hosting non-dedicated sessions. I mean, as much as I enjoy having this entire vast world to myself, not gonna lie, I've been getting lonely. Ugh, I need to eat. Ooh! Another wyvern. I notice wyverns don't spawn as frequently as dragons do. What is that? That is a, that's a ridgeback wyvern. Sadly, I didn't come here to tame you. Thankfully, those suckers are harder to kill than you realize, especially with their blasts. The Viper Tooth, it comes with a projectile torpor blast. It basically allows me to knock out creatures without having to expend like trank arrows or tranquilizer darts. It may cost them their stamina, but it still gets the job done. Each of them has their own ability, like the Fireball's aiming breath, the Ridgeback has its Freezer Blast, while I think the Iron Belly, which is right around here... Oi, excuse me. It's a shock blast that completely paralyzes you. So beautiful, I just can't get over it. One thing I learned is that while wyverns may be slow in the water, dragons are much Much faster swimming than wyverns. Maybe it's the fact that dragons have 4 legs. That's a lot of Pomona Scorpius. I don't think I've ever seen this many of them outside the caves. Those poor Pachyrhinosaurs. That also reminds me, I also have an idea for a spawning pen I can make. Once again, I have scoured every inch of this island. The Quetzal still eludes me. Personally, as much as I hate doing it, I'm afraid I'm gonna have to spawn them in using commands. There, that's the torpile I blasted the Viper Tooth. And in case you, the Fireball, Ridgeback, Ironbelly, Viper Tooth, these are all species of dragons from the Harry Potter verse. What breed? Ooh, what gender is that? That is a... what? It's male. Thank you. And thankfully you've got plenty of meat to spare, so... hope you don't mind sharing, Cobra. 200 meat should be more than enough. I'll go 300, just to be safe. And you'll also notice I was smart enough to get a little organization done with my inventory and with some folders. I never saw the use of using them before, but now... ooh, smartest... oh dear. Aw, man! Not again. Every time I try to change something I want, another creature always has to come along and spoil it for me. Stupid Therizinosaur. No matter. Thankfully I'm near the redwoods, and since creatures are becoming more and more abundant over here, let's see if I can't find myself a new Pteranodon to tame. Even the number of snakes Titanoboas has increased. It's like I needed another excuse to avoid the swamps. You really shouldn't, though. If you've managed to tame yourself a Beelzebufo, the, giant frogs, head into the swamps, kill something, and wait for the Meganuras to come around. Terror birds. It's a Parlovia. Those are rare. Aha! Pteranodon on in sight. I'm trying to get... I admit the aim is kinda hard to aim. Gotta wait till it's over land. Gotcha. Now this time... Please tell me that hissing was you, Cobra. I won't need as much meat, so this time I actually will stick to 200. Yep, 200 is gonna be enough. A shame they won't be as effective or as fast as their 2.0 counterparts. For example, I won't be able to increase their speed anymore. You know what? We'll see what happens. You take those, get rid of that, take this, and this. And thanks to these guys, I have more resources than I know what to do with now. My avatar. Muy guapo, eh? Not gonna lie, when I looked in the mirror earlier, I actually thought that was him. I was staring at myself. Hashtag humble brag. Ew, hide pants. Nagamura. That's right. It's a shame, in my opinion. Now, thanks to my efforts, I now know how to tweak the game even more in my favor with the spawn rates and even how to increase their speed. In fact, you should have seen this guy when dragons when you tame them. It's a reason why I preferred wyverns. Wyverns are so much faster than dragons, but now, I guess you could say they're relatively the same speed. But even I could still try to increase the spawn rate of common creatures, but not modded creatures like the dragons. I know that must be a lot of work for the developers of the mods to try and work that into the game and everything. If you ask me, that's just my opinion. It's an inconvenience. Can't find any more knuckleberry. I didn't think to bring any narcotics or knuckleberries with me. Ah, here's one. Maybe just one, but hopefully it'll be enough. Come on. I would love to shoot them with my tranquilizer arrows. Problem is, those pack a little more punch than they do. I can't keep using Cobra.